Good morning, everyone. My name is Zak Clayton, and please bear with me because I've scripted today out because I'm really struggling today. I I've mentioned a lot of times to everyone that there are certain days when it's hard for me to even get out of bed uh, due to the head injury and everything else that I've got going on. Today is one of those days. So this is not going to be one of my best um because I feel right now we've all got a little bit of stress that every single one of us is going through. This was a very, very hard weekend. There are a lot of people who are suffering with cold temperatures this weekend, and so I wanted to make sure that we talk about that. So we're going to focus a lot on that for this show. We also lost one of the people that we are going to try to reach out and help in a little under a month with the Mission for Healthy Heroes. Not to mental health and not to them deciding that they couldn't continue. I'm going to do something that I rarely ever do. And I'm going to stand 100% on my beliefs and my views on this one. We lost someone on Saturday who was standing up and trying to help another person that was being pushed down. All right. So before we begin today's show, I want to speak from the bottom of my heart. When someone dedicates their life to helping others and is taken from us, especially in a moment that feels senseless, preventable, and quite frankly, quite honestly, deeply unjust, it shakes something inside of us. It hits our values and it hits our mission. It hits the part of us that still believes people in authority should and mostly still do protect and not harm. I still absolutely believe in supporting our law enforcement. I believe in supporting the law enforcement that is out there to make lives of citizens better. I also understand that law enforcement is put in a very, very difficult position quite often, and their job is very difficult. I understand that people slip, and when people slip, there's a punishment that must be paid. The punishment that was dealt out on Saturday was too extreme for anyone. Many of us are feeling anger right now. Not the kind that lashes out, but the kind that comes from love and wanting to be better and just to better our community, our heroes, and the people who give everything and ask for nothing. If you're feeling that anger, that grief, that exhaustion, you're not wrong, you're not alone, and you don't have to pretend you're okay. Please understand, yes, this is all scripted out. Obviously, this part isn't. And it's so I can take and I can control my own mouth because this is the day that I don't want to. This is the day that I want to let my freak flag fly. I really want to get on here and I want to rip up one side and down the other. I want to cuss. I want to yell. I want to scream. I want to do all this other stuff. But it's not going to accomplish anything for me to do that. That's why I've done this. Look, here's the truth. I want to share with you today, we can take this pain and turn it into a purpose. We can take this outrage and turn it into advocacy. We can take this moment and turn it into a movement that protects the people who protect us. Yes, a little shameless, I do agree. That's what Mission for Healthy Heroes is all about. It's not politics, it's not division, it's compassion, it's accountability, and it's community. It's standing up for the people who stand up for us, especially when the world feels cold, chaotic, or unfair. So today, as we talk about the dangers of extreme cold and what we can do to protect our neighbors, we also honor those who serve, those we've lost, and those who continue to carry more than we ever see. I'm going to ask something of you right now. Something that, believe it or not, is actually very painful for me to ask. I'm going to ask for you to move forward with me. Let's move forward together. Not in silence, but with a purpose. Not with rage alone, but with action. Not with despair, but with community. I also want to reiterate one of the other things that I said just a minute ago. Not alone. Not alone. Let's keep our heads within ourselves. There is too much anger that's leading to too much violence. There's too much anger that's leading to people being hurt. And we have got to start watching out for each other, watching out for the people who are out here to do good. We've got to work together as a community. Let's take care of people. Damn it. We have got to work together to help everyone. That is really the main reason why we introduce you to Mission for Healthy Heroes. Hello, my name is Zak Clayton. Mission for Healthy Heroes is more than just a broadcast. It's a commitment to the people who put their well-being aside so the rest of us can live a safer, healthier life. On Sunday, February 22nd, we're hosting a 22-hour event filled with stories, resources, and conversations that truly matter. And I'm asking you for something simple but meaningful. Just 22 minutes. 22 minutes to watch, 22 minutes to participate, 22 minutes to show our heroes they're not alone. Scan the QR code for details, mark your calendar for February 22nd, and join us in lifting up people who always lift us. Your business is your American dream, but today opening your doors comes with tough questions. Will customers walk in? Can I stock the shelves with what they need? Can I afford salaries? And how do I compete with a big box store down the road? That is exactly why we created Community Pay It Forward. Because in hard times, we need stronger communities led by people with bigger hearts. Our Shop, Click, and Pick program makes it simple. Every purchase at a participating small business supports a cause you care about. You shop, others thrive. Even when money is tight, you can still make a huge difference. You're not just shopping, you're supporting families, nonprofits, and your neighbors. That's the power of community. That's the power of the Community Pay It Forward family. When you join the Community Pay It Forward family, you will be seen, you will be remembered, and you will be a hero for people in need everywhere. You, your business, and Community Pay It Forward. Because no one needs to go it alone. When we all
Hello, world. My name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer, and I am also a consultant at Z World Webs. My one goal is to develop custom websites that are specifically catered to your organization's needs. I completely understand that building a website is an exhilarating, exciting, and significant step in connecting with your audience. Your organization has Z potential to make a meaningful impact, whether it's supporting animal rights, advocating for equality, combating human trafficking, or honoring the brave individuals who have served our country. Your mission is too important to be held back by the challenges a website can present, and I am here to ensure that your website works for you, not against you. Whether it's maintaining, developing, or redeveloping a custom website that is specifically catered to your needs. And with that being said, I would be more than delighted to learn more about your organization and, of course, develop a website Z World is waiting for.
Hey, I also want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Z this morning. He kind of helped me to where I was able to do that first segment without chewing through my mouth. Um, chewing through my cheeks, chewing through my lips, which it's it was a it was a tough weekend. Um, for many reasons, it was a tough weekend, and one of the main reasons why is because of the weather. Look, damn cold out there, folks. Okay, and today we're going to talk about something affecting people in every corner of this country right now: cold weather dangers, and what we together can do to protect our neighbors from our neighbors, our families, and the most vulnerable among us. Look, the extreme cold isn't just uncomfortable, it is dangerous. It can take a life in minutes, and it can isolate people who already feel alone. Um, Going to the unscripted part of this right now, I also need to make sure that everyone understands. You guys see those furry things that I have all the time jumping up on me? You need to remember they cannot be out there either. I've got two of them that are so wonderful, and they think that they need to be out every minute of every day. Of course, until they're out there, and then they want to be right back in, and then they want to be right back out, then they want to be right back in, then they want to be. We could go on forever with this, but I'm going to stop there. You cannot leave them out there in these cold temperatures. So please, um, please remember, don't forget your dogs outside right now. Don't forget your cats outside right now. Uh, I The rule in our house is if it's below 25 degrees, they cannot be out more than 5 minutes. If it's below 30 degrees, they can't be out more than 10. Now, the temperatures are different in every state. Okay. Temperatures are different no matter where you're at. 30 degrees here in Colorado, I wear shorts. I'm not joking. 30 degrees here in Colorado, you can go easily with a hoodie as long as the sun's up. When the sun goes down, it does get cold, but it's not a a biting cold. I tell the story all the time of when I was an over the road truck driver. I was in Illinois, and just south of Chicago, and I pulled into the fuel station, and I went and I saw 40 degrees when I pulled in. I was like, all right. And I always drove in t-shirt, shorts, and I'm like going 40 degrees. This is awesome. It's been crappy and snowy and gross all the road. I was, ready to get out, stretch my legs, driven 300 miles, was ready to get out, stretch my legs, and just go in, grab myself a soda, take a bathroom break, do what I had to do. So throw the truck in neutral, put the emergency brake on, get out of the truck, walked around the truck. Remember, it said 40 degrees. I got out of the truck. I walked around the truck, hopped in the truck on the passenger side, walked back into the sleeper berth, and I got dressed for winter. Whatever you guys have for 40 degrees in Illinois is broken. It is broken. I have never in my life had to put on a coat at 40 degrees in Colorado. Never. I can ride my motorcycle in a hoodie at 40 degrees in Colorado. Whatever the hell you all have in Illinois is broken. 40 degrees is broken. So I cannot imagine what you're dealing with right now when those temperatures hit minus 23. When I woke up here this morning, it was minus. When I woke up at just short of 5 o'clock this morning, it was -7, and it got all the way down to -14 here briefly. Uh, we have already had a major jump to where it is 14 degrees here in Colorado. That's cold. Okay, it's cold, but that's nothing like some of you guys are suffering. And I do want you to understand 14 degrees when you get up into the mountains, that's a lot colder than it is down here in Greeley and in Denver and stuff like that. 14 degrees is livable. Like I said, in Denver, 40 degrees, that's shorts weather. You see us idiots walking around in short sleeves and shorts. It's not bad. It's really not. Okay. Also, matters a lot that I am not a young guy by any means, but I am a younger guy with thicker skin, somewhat healthy. Okay. So, all of this, all of that saying that it also helps that you're taking in, you're walking into a store, or you're walking into a vehicle or something like that. You're not out there, you're not exposed at all times. Okay. So, but this episode is a guide, whether you're listening from home, from work, or from a shelter, you'll walk away with the tools to protect yourself and someone else. That is our goal. Understanding the danger. Let's start with the basics. What makes extreme cold so dangerous? Well, frostbite. It can develop in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. Hypothermia can sneak up on you without a warning, and it's an unsafe heating can lead to fires, carbon monoxide, and poisoning. Desperation leads to people doing desperate things, dangerous, desperate things. Not being prepared leads to death. Plain, pure, and simple. You need to you need to really at times consider being uncomfortable rather than being in danger. Cold weather also increased the risk of heart attacks, especially when people shovel snow when they shouldn't or overexert themselves. In people experiencing homelessness, the danger is constant. Shelters, if you, and this is asking a lot, but if you need to amend things, support your local shelters so they can stay open a little bit longer. They can feed two extra people. They can support two extra people. Outreach teams across the country are seeing severe frostbite and amputations. This is not a small problem, this is a national one. This isn't happening in one place right now, folks. It's happening everywhere. Let's talk about a little bit about personal safety. Let's talk about what you can do to stay safe. Dress in layers and cover exposed skin. This is the one time that you've got to tell your kid there's a difference between being cool and being dead or being dangerous. As an adult, I'll say it right now, kids, y'all freak me out sometimes. 900 degrees outside and you want to wear a coat. 4 degrees, you're walking around without a coat, short sleeves. I know, I know you have a reputation. I don't know if that reputation is, hey, I got my seasons mixed up and I like uncomfortable. Obviously, that has to be the reputation because I just don't get it. This one is difficult, and we have a friend who fought through this. My son-in-law, our son-in-law, had to fight through this, but get out of wet clothing immediately. That's very difficult sometimes when you're at work, but do your best to do what you can do. Protect your home. Keep your thermostat steady. Open cabinets to warm your pipes. Let faucets drip during the extreme cold. This is something that uh, we made sure that we did. I had to walk my fat butt up from 3 stories back down here to the basement to make sure that we do this. Also, it's a lot different between upstairs. Heat rises. Remember this. Okay, lower areas in your home are going to be colder. So please adjust properly. If the power goes out, close off unused rooms. And there are a lot of people right now who are dealing with power outages. Please, please reach out to them because they cannot be watching this right now. Send them this advice if you have any contact with them. But shut off unused room. Use blankets and sleeping bags. Never use a grill or generator indoors. They and I think mainly we're talking about like propane because you cannot ventilate properly. And generators, it puts off a dangerous gas. If you must travel, slow down. Guys in four-wheel drive trucks, I'm one of them. I can get my truck to move faster than you can get your little car to move. Yes, yes, I can. But that ice doesn't give a shit how fast you're moving. You're not going to be able to stop. Moving is not the problem, stopping is a huge problem. Increase your following distance and keep an emergency kit in your car. Helping others. This is where the community becomes life saving. With what we were talking about earlier, Republican and Democrat, Christian, Muslim, Catholic, Protestant, it doesn't matter, folks. This is a time when you've got to swallow differences and come together as humans. This is where the community becomes life saving. Check on people. A simple call or a knock on the door can save a life. If you know that you've got a neighbor who's elderly and and maybe having financial issues and can't always keep the heat where they need to keep the heat, because you get older, you notice it takes more to keep you warm. Make sure you keep a good eye on them. Make sure that you take over a little bit of extra food, and just one, to be nice, but then two, check on them. Make sure you check in on them. Make sure they're still okay. We talked about it when we got our last dog. Our aunt was on the floor for 4 days. If somebody could have checked on her, we would have found her sooner. Distribute any extra warm gear that you've got. You hear me say it all the time. If you've got an old hoodie in your house that you no longer wear, give it to somebody struggling with the elements. Don't give it to a thrift store. A thrift store is going to sell it. It's not going to do these people who need it any good. If you got an abundance of them, sure, give some to a thrift store. Sure, why not? But if you've got a couple hoodies, just put them in your car. Give them to people struggling with the elements. Distribute warm gear, gloves, hats, socks, hand warmers, blankets, sleeping bags. Help people access shelters. If you can, offer rides. Be careful if you do this. Do not offer a ride to someone if you are alone. Protect yourself. Share information with people. Help people navigate barriers. Prevent home heating disasters by sharing information, the scientific information. You know, don't don't plug in space heaters with frayed wires. Once again, don't take a propane grill into the house. Make sure neighbors have smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. If you've got extra ones, share. And here we go. Don't forget the pets. If you're cold, they are cold. Support local warming centers. Volunteer if you can. Donate blankets. Share information. Partner with local organizations. They coordinate large scale responses and need community support. So if you can, support them. Build a neighborhood safety network. A simple phone tree can save lives. Make sure people are reaching out to each other. Promote preparedness before storms hit. That doesn't go out and buy 500 gallons of milk and every piece of toilet paper you can find. But be prepared. Preparedness is the difference between crisis and survival. Please make sure you're helping the most vulnerable amongst us. People experiencing homelessness face the higher risk. Support outreach teams, donate survival gear. Again, offer transportation if you are safe. Do not do this alone. If you're alone, protect yourself. Older adults need regular check ins, help with groceries, medications, and heating. Children lose heat faster than adults. Make sure they have proper winter clothing. People with disabilities or chronic illness may need help with mobility, errands, or emergency planning. You're out shoveling your your walkway. Your neighbor is a little bit older. Maybe consider taking and shoveling theirs. Then maybe when it's not quite as cold, they'll be out, they'll shovel yours for you. Okay? But during this extreme cold weather, just be a good neighbor. Be a good community liaison. Help your neighbors prepare an emergency plan. Just make sure you have an emergency plan. There's plenty that we can do right now. Here are 5 actions you can take today. Check on 3 people. Assemble a cold weather kit. Donate warm clothing. Share warming center information with people in your community. And learn signs of frostbite or hypothermia. Don't diagnose, but be aware. Misdiagnosing things is as dangerous as not. It's just as dangerous as not saying anything at all. So if you see somebody struggling with something, get them to a trained professional, get them to an emergency room. Look, the cold doesn't care who you are, it doesn't give a damn. My light just turned on. But community does. Every act of kindness, every check in, every shared resource creates a warmer, safer America. I want to thank you very much for listening. Thank you for caring. And thank you for being a part of a movement that refuses to let anyone face the cold alone. We'd also like to remind you that on February 22nd, we're coming together for something powerful. The Mission for Healthy Heroes. For 22 hours, we'll share stories, resources, and real conversations about the people who carry more damage than we can ever see. Our protectors, our helpers, our healers. We're asking you for just 22 minutes to show up for the people who always show up for us. Scan the QR code, mark the date, and join the movement. Because when we lift our heroes, we lift our whole community. Again, this was a very difficult weekend. And I would like to once again make sure that everybody takes their own temperature, takes control of themselves. We all want to see action done. We all want to see action taken. We want to see positive results. No matter which side you're on, you want to see a positive result. In order for us to see positive results, you must stay positive. You must react positively to difficult times. And I'm telling you right now, right here, right now, that's difficult. It's difficult, and I understand that, and I accept that. I own that. Just make sure that you are able to control yourself, control what you do. Don't go out in explosive anger. Don't go out and endanger yourself or others. Protest, it's your right, but don't throw shit at people. Be careful. People are losing their heads, and because of that, people are losing their lives. Please be careful. Monday mornings, we introduce one of my dearest friends, one of our greatest supporters, one of our wonderful, wonderful partners in sponsorship. This is my really good friend, a great sponsor, and a huge, huge supporter. Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and a huge part of the Come Together Compass. And this is talking a little bit about something that, you know what? I know it's a little heavy-handed right now to be talking about riding motorcycles, but there's a new law in Colorado that I know pisses everyone off at times. Scott's going to tell you about funneling, which means motorcycles coming up to the front of the line when traffic is stopped. There's a right way to do it. And to all you damn motorcyclists who are not doing this right, listen to what he has to say. Because if you're not doing it right, you're going to piss people off and you're going to get yourself or another motorcyclist killed. This is our friend, our sponsor, our partner, Scott O'Sullivan.
All right, I've been asked questions constantly about this new law that just passed in Colorado. Let me tell you what it is not. It is not lane splitting, it is lane filtering. It is a very specific, very short law that's easy for you to go see. Here's what it says. If traffic has completely come to a stop, you as a motorcycle rider can ride between vehicles at a slow rate of speed of 15 miles or less. That's what it is set up for. It is set up for situations in which traffic has come to a complete stop. You as a motorcycle rider can shift over, go between the cars as conditions allow. That's basically how it's written, to get out of the way so you don't get hit from behind. That's what it's set up for. It is also set up for allowing you to get out of the heat of the day, to be able to move forward and move your bike forward, but with stopped traffic. It is not lane splitting. Stop calling it lane splitting. I've heard it from people that I respect out there are saying the wrong things. Stop it. What it is lane filtering. It's only going to last for 3 years. And if it turns out it's getting abused and turned into lane splitting, it's going to get revoked completely. And this was your shot. Don't blow it. It's already hard enough out there with all these drivers that seem like the rules don't freaking apply to me anymore. And I'm seeing people running red lights and doing all this terrible stuff. We all see it every single day. Let's not add to it as motorcycle riders. Let's take advantage of this law in a way that makes us look better. It helps us be safer on the road. And let's take care of each other out there. And let's use the law for what it's intended. Lane filtering, not splitting. Sorry if I was a little angry.
I know all of us have seen the videos of
what is basically the execution of how it's played.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. There was a little bit of confusion there, but yes, and and I am one, and I'm a biker, and I understand the difference, but I also know, as somebody in a four wheeler, when you see that, you get a little bit upset. As a biker, I choose not to do that. I'm not going to do that. I understand there's traffic. Everyone hates traffic. And the last thing in the world, and I'm just going to tell you, the bikers, this too. Everyone hates traffic. One of the worst things in the world to do to somebody who's already pissed off, hear me out, is act entitled. There is a law. It's on the books. It's not illegal for you to do this. Just use your caution, use your head. If you're going to do it, make sure you do it right. And 15 miles per hour, that's ridiculous. And I almost cussed there, and I am sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. Do not go over 5 miles an hour. You don't know if somebody's going to take and try to cut and turn. Your vision's blocked, so people might be turning in front of you. You don't know. You don't know if all of a sudden somebody's going to take and open a door because they're being a jackass. Don't go 15 miles an hour. Don't go 10. Slow down. Make sure you are able to see what's coming. When I heard that, I was like, 15 miles an hour. Man, that's ridiculous. You're already enclosed. You're in close quarters. People have dogs in trucks that react, that could startle you. I mean, God, there's so much that could go wrong there. So you have law on your side. You can do that. Again, I absolutely choose. You'll never see me on a bike do that unless there's an extreme circumstance. Then maybe. But I would, you know what? I'm going to say it. You're just not going to see me ever do that. Ever. So we got one more that Scott's going to kind of introduce himself and who he is. I love this video because Scott really gets to the bottom of what is rider justice.
So, what would your advice be to motorcyclists, knowing that that seems to be the most common?
So the question of what can motorcycle riders do about turning, this phenomena of turning left in front of them is situational awareness. Try to always have your head on a swivel, always looking for the exit, always looking for the escape route in the event that somebody does make that left-hand turn. Unfortunately, even with the most vigilant veteran riders, there isn't a whole lot you can do because sometimes it's literally in the span of 50 feet and it happens within a split second. But what you can do is just try to be as aware as you can. Um, Avoid situations where it seems like one lane is totally stopped and the other one seems to be going. Be aware as you enter that intersection, situational awareness, that they may think nothing's coming. It's not your fault if it happens. Not at all. I don't want to imply that at all. But just that's part of the situational awareness. Take advanced safety classes, take advanced rider classes, so that you can learn how to do full on G brakes with both the front and rear brake to come to a complete stop. Try your best not to put it down. Sometimes you have to put it down. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it avoids worse things. There's so many scenarios where my clients feel deep regret or guilt about not being able to avoid it. And I can tell them sincerely, there's nothing they could have done. They hit their brakes. They tried their best. They tried to swerve one way or the other. And it's the other person's fault. And I think it's almost impossible for our clients to let that go. To a case, um, especially when they have someone on the back of their bike and they feel extra guilty about it. It's totally understandable that they feel that, but it's not warranted. It's not their fault. There's nothing they could have done in those scenarios.
Thank you all once again. Um, the cold weather, what's going on in the world, everything is making life tough right now. Personal lives, you add that to it, and right now could be a very, very difficult time for you. This would be a perfect time to maybe start looking into some of the things that you've wanted to explore. Get out there, walk those dogs, um, do some yoga, do some exercise classes. When it warms up, you know, maybe take a class to learn how to ride a motorcycle. I want to thank Scott for allowing me to play his videos. Great, great friend, and I do appreciate everything about him. I also want to thank Z for helping me get through the first portion of today. And I want to thank you for taking part in watching this show. I want to thank you very much for joining us, and make sure that you join us on the 22nd of February for Mission for Healthy Heroes, because you will hear wonderful people like our friend Aviva, who's going to tell you about programs that she runs that can maybe help you get through what you're suffering with. Thank you very much. We will see you next week right here on Footprints Forward. If you would like to be involved in Healthy Mission for Healthy Heroes, please scan the QR code and get a hold of me today. If you would like to talk to me about joining me on the show, all my information is in the information about this show. Please go down there. It's got my email address. It's also got my card where you can find my calendar. You can get on my calendar today. Come on, let's talk about whatever is on your mind. Let's have a conversation. Let's discuss how we can make this life better for you and better for everyone around you. So, but again, please join us on the 22nd for great stories like our dear friend Aviva. Please like, share, subscribe, tell everybody about what we do. Come on and show us what you do, and let's do this together.
In energy work, energy psychology, you're helping a person understand we can get a little closer to what that pain is without being overwhelmed, without being frightened, and we can sort of look at it and take care of it. Because the whole thing about PTSD and other avoidance or difficulty in handling a memory is that we're trying to not see it. We're trying to just say, stay over there, stay back there, stay under the surface. And that in itself causes a lot of problems because nature wants to heal. There's healing inherent in nature. So